So yeah, I hate to warn you guys, but the game's not suitable for children who are easily scared. Oh, it says children or those who are easily scared. So if you're just a big wuss who's an adult, then it's not for you either. Good to know. Oh god, are we really gonna have this like long like trigger warning list? Or just the end of it? Individuals suffering from anxiety or depression may not have a safe experience playing this game. For content warnings, please... Oh, that's... They outsourced the trigger warnings to this website. Gotcha. Playing... I agree that you're at least 13 years of age. Oh, yeah, because it's not like I couldn't just lie about this. Oh, there we go, we have audio. Might be a little loud, but we'll see. I guess I agree. There's not much else I could really do. I may want to keep the game... Hold on a second, let me lower that. That should be better. I'll make it a little bit louder. I think that's good. So let's see, what were you saying there? You may want to keep the thing for the game open just in case something happens. The folder for the game. Oh, okay. Is it gonna crash in the middle? I don't know where, well, I know where it is, but it just takes a second to get to it. Because it's on Steam. Do you mean the Steam folder, like the apps data for it? Where, like, all the saves are stored? I'm assuming you mean the Steam folder. Alright, so just a quick little introduction. This is Doki Doki Literature Club. This game was just recommended to me today by Frog. Frog, for those of you in the chat, is named Pickamaniac or something. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. So if this is a good game, he gets all the credit. If it's bad, then he gets all the blame. That's just how it works. And otherwise, I don't really know too much about this game at all, other than the fact that it apparently has some kind of twist to it that I'm not allowed to know. And I don't know whatever it is, so don't tell me in the chat if you know what it is. We got a couple of people showing up still. It's a good thing I didn't start right away. Hello to Edouard and Ayumi. Good evening to you folks. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone when I was getting that all set up. Yeah, it's nice having everyone all together again. It's been such a long time. But we've persisted in the face of modem errors and more modem errors. I actually have been through 3 different modems in the last, like, week or two, trying to get the damn thing to work. Luckily, it's actually pretty stable now, so I guess after all that, we at least have something to show for it. Okay, now let's get this started. Apparently there's some warnings in this game, because reasons. We'll find out. Please enter my name. Alright, who wants to have the benefits of naming our character? I guess we'll do it whoever's the first, so speedy fingers will prevail. And quick wits. Daddy? Oh, I know. We'll name a Daddy Hand. Oh, we can't do a space? I was gonna name a Daddy Hand, because those were the first 2 options. I thought that would sound funny together. God damn it. I guess we just name it Daddy Hand. One word. Danny DeVito and Cockmaster, and Rumpelstiltskin too. Very classy, guys. Very classy. Although, maybe I should have gone with Frog's recommendation, because he has played the game before. So maybe, I don't know, maybe the character is more fitting to Danny DeVito. Maybe that's the type of character we're playing. I might want the game in windowed mode to keep an eye on the game folder. Well, I can move the game folder to my other monitor. We'll just have to cover up something else. Alright, I'll do that just in case. That sounds very ominous. It's got me thinking about what kind of game this is already. But hey, we'll see what happens. So you have an unknown character going, hey! I see an annoying girl running towards me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. That girl is Sayori, my neighbor and good friend since we were children, of course. You know, The kind of friend you'd never see yourself making today. But it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, that bitch, and I would get tired of waiting up. But if she's going to chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. However, I just saw an aisle in front of the crosswalk and let Sayori catch up to me. How many games have we played that start this way? It feels like so many. Ha! Ha! I overslept again. You know what? I would say this is probably going to be a parody game, but there are so many games that play this straight too. Like Fading Hearts. That whole intro seemed like such a joke, but that was actually played straight. Anyway, I guess we'll see. But I caught you this time. Daddy hand. Maybe, but only because I decided to stop and wait for you. Eh? You say that like you were thinking about ignoring me. That's mean, Daddy hand. Well, if people stare at you for acting weird, then I don't want them to think we're a couple or something. Fine, fine. But you did wait for me after all. I guess you don't have it in you to be mean to me even if you want to. Whatever you say, Sayori. Her face bothers you? I mean, kind of from the first scene we saw with her, those little... I don't know what that emotion's supposed to be, those eyes. I always see that, and it always annoys me. We cross the street together and make our way to school. As we draw near, the streets become increasingly speckled with other students making their daily commute. By the way, Daddy Hands, have you decided on a club to join yet? This is just like every other game. No, there is one game in particular I'm reminded of right now, but I can't remember what it was. Oh well, if you guys know what it is, it's something that we played before. I'm sure there's like 15 games that do this. But there was some other game that we played at one point where it was like, oh yeah, you have to join a club. And I feel like you didn't really get a say in what club you wanted to join after all. I told you already, I'm really not interested in joining any clubs. I just want to slack off all day. I haven't been looking either. Eh? That's not true. You told me you would join a club this year. Did I? I'm sure it's possible that I did, in one of our many conversations. Where I dismissively go along with whatever she's going on about. And oh my god, the stream crashed. Resuming things. I'm sure it's possible that I did in one of our many conversations where I dismissively go along with whatever she's going on about. Sayori likes to worry a little too much about me, when I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average, while spending my free time on games and anime. Uh-huh. I was talking about how I worried that you won't learn how to socialize or have any skills before college. Your happiness is really important to me, you know. I can tell. And I know you're happy now, but I die at the thought of you becoming a NEET in a few years because you're not used to the real world. You trust me, right? Sounds like you worry way too much about us. Don't make me keep worrying about you. You don't have to. That's your choice. That's your choice. Yes, I see what you're talking about, Demon. That is rather noticeable, but no, shut up. Can't talk about that now. Alright. I'll look at a few clubs if it makes you happy. Yeah, I forgot what we were talking about entirely. Yeah, we're talking about high school clubs. It's been a while. For those of you that are watching this on YouTube, there was a stream crash in between this and about 5 minutes ago. No promises, though. Yeah, I was talking about her head too, of course. Of course I was, man. Will you at least promise me you'll try a little? Yeah, I guess I'll promise you that. Yay! Why do I let myself get lectured by such a carefree girl? She carefree or she worry a lot? It seems to be a mixture of both. More than that, I'm surprised I even let myself relent to her. I guess seeing her worry so much about me makes me want to ease her mind at least a little bit, even if she does exaggerate everything inside of her head. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. I swear this classroom's used in like every single one of these games. It almost always looks the same. I guess you can't have much variation when it comes to schoolrooms though. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs! Sayori wants me to check out some clubs. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Hello? Sayori! Sayori must have come to the classroom while I was spacing out. Well, it's only natural. We're always in the classroom after all the other students have left. It's too much effort to draw other kids. Oh, Shadowcat says they bought some donut worries in Persona 5. Donut worries, huh? I don't know if we've done that yet. Probably not. I don't remember it anyway. Yeah, we're the only ones left in the classroom, magically. It always happens in these games. I thought I'd catch you coming out of the classroom, but I saw you just sitting here and spacing out, so I came in. Honestly, you're even worse than me sometimes. I'm impressed. You don't need to wait up for me if it's gonna make you late to your own club. Well, I thought you might need some encouragement, so I thought, you know. Know what? Well, then you can come to my club. Sayori. What's our club gonna be? I wonder. Will it have anything to do with the title of this game? Yeah. There's no way I'm going to your club. Eh? Meanie. Sayori is vice president of the Literature Club, and I'm shocked. Not that I was ever aware that she had any interest in literature. In fact, I'm 99% sure she only did it because she thought it would be fun to start a new club. Since she was the first one to show interest after the one who proposed the club, she inherited the title of vice president. That said, my interest in literature is guaranteed to be even less. Yeah, well, I'm going for the anime club. Come on, please, isn't that close enough? Why do you care so much anyway? Well? Yeah, when you make a face like that, it just looks like you're planning something. And I can't help but worry. I kinda told the club yesterday I would bring in a new member. And Natsuki made cupcakes and everything. Well, don't make promises you can't keep. I can't tell if Sayori is really that much of an airhead, or if she's so cunning as to have planned all this out. Yes, we named our character Daddy Hand. It's because I believe it was Demon Chan suggested Daddy, and was it Shadowcat that suggested Hand? I forget who suggested Hand, but yeah, we basically combined the first two answers into Daddy Hand. I can't tell if Sayori is really that much of an airhead, or if she's so cunning as to have it all planned out. I let out a long sigh. Fine, I'll stop by for a cupcake, okay? Yes, let's go. And thus marks the day I sold my soul for a cupcake. Well, I mean, there's probably worse things you could sell your soul for, but that is fairly low on the totem pole. I dejectedly follow Sayori across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit, being generally used for third-year classes and activities. Sayori, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. And we get a room full of demons. Everyone, the new member's here! I told you, don't call me a new member. Eh? I glance around the room. I don't know, I always want to say eh that way. Welcome to the Literature Club. It's a pleasure meeting you. Sayori always says nice things about you. Where are you keeping your arms? I mean, I know they're behind you, but why are you keeping them there? It's just kind of weird. Seriously? You brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Ah, Daddy Hand. What a nice surprise. Everyone loves the Daddy Hand. Welcome to the club. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. What are you looking at? If you want to say something, say it. Sorry. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I didn't recognize. Her small figure makes me think she's probably a first year, or she's just very short. As we tend to have those types in most of these games anyway. She's also the one who made the cupcakes, according to Sayori. You can just ignore her when she gets moody. Sayori says that quietly into my ear and then turns back towards the other girls. Hey, what's up? How is it going, Kira? I don't know what we're getting into exactly. It seems we're getting to a literature club, but it seems almost guaranteed to get more ominous than that, from what everyone's talking about. I mean, this seems pretty innocent to me, but we even got the trigger warning in the beginning. Anyway, this is Natsuki, always full of energy. And this is Yuri, the smartest in the club. Don't say things like that. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with people like Sayori and Natsuki. That'd be the best twist of all, it just turns out it's a perfectly normal VN. Ah, well, it's nice to meet both of you. And it sounds like you already know Monica, is that right? I guess we know her. That's right. It's great to see you again, Daddy Hand. Monica smiles very sweetly while extending herself at an odd angle, which seems very unnatural. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talk, but we were in the same class last year. Monica was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, and athletic. Basically, completely out of my league. So having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... You too, Monica. It's the anime angle for presenting boobs, yes, pretty much. That's what it works for. Come sit down, Daddy Hand. We made room for you at the table so you could sit next to me or Monica. Oh, come on. Is this what the game's gonna do for the first choice? Decide who to sit next to? And that decides your fate for the rest of your life. I'll get the cupcakes. Hey, I made them. I'll get them. Sorry, I got a little too excited. Then how about I make some tea as well? Is the character named Daddy Hands? Yes, that is the default name, of course. Not something we picked out at all. The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. As Sayori mentioned, it's been widened so that there's one space next to Monica and one space next to Sayori. Natsuki and Yuri walk over to the corner of the room where Natsuki grabs a wrap tray and Yuri opens the closet. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Sayori. Oh, so much for a choice. Well, I guess that's okay. Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand. Okay, you ready? Ta-da! Wah! Natsuki lifts the foil off the tray to reveal a dozen white, fluffy cupcakes, decorated to look like little cats. The whiskers are drawn with icing, and little pieces of chocolate were used to make ears. So cute. Is the club room another empty classroom? I'm gonna guess most of the rooms in this game are empty classrooms. That's just gonna be the default. Although, to be fair, they actually used a different angle, so... there was more effort put into this one. Kind of. I had no idea you were so good at baking, Natsuki. Well, you know. Just hurry up and take one. Sayori grabs one first, then Monica, I follow. Of course we get the poisoned one. It's delicious. Sayori talks with her mouth full, and has already managed to get icing on her face. I turn the cupcake around in my fingers, looking for the best angle to take a bite, and eat it. Natsuki's quiet. I can't help but notice her sneaking glances in my direction. Is she waiting for me to take a bite? I finally bite down. The icing is sweet and full of flavor. I wonder if she made it herself. This is really good. Well, I would hope so. I mean, cupcakes aren't the most complicated recipe they have to make. Thank you, Natsuki. Why are you thanking me? It's not like Haven't I heard this before somewhere? Yes, pretty much any other game like this. Made them for you or anything. Eh? I thought you technically did. Sayori said. Well, maybe. But not for, you, dummy. Alright. I give up on Natsuki's weird logic and dismiss this whole conversation. Probably for the best. Yuri returns to the table, carrying a tea set. Are we gonna do anything of actual literature in here, or are we just gonna eat cupcakes and drink tea? She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us, before setting down the teapot next to the cupcake tray. You keep a whole set of tea in this classroom, huh? Or even a tea set? Don't worry, The teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? Why are you always blushing? Why is it a weird brownish orange color? It doesn't look quite natural. Almost looks like dirt. I guess. Actually, they all kind of blush all the time, I guess. It's just our effect on women. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not... Insulted, Yuri looks away. I meant that, you know. I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. I guess literature equals that? Sure. Yeah, we don't need to read nothing, but literature equals cupcakes and drinking tea. And, you know, a healthy side of boobs, of course. For good measure. Monica raises an eyebrow, then smiles at me. So what made you consider the literature club? Well, this is going to be a great answer. I was afraid of this question. Something tells me I shouldn't tell Monica that I was practically dragged here by Sayori. Well, I haven't joined any clubs yet, and Sayori seemed really happy here, so... That's okay, don't be embarrassed. I'll make you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. Monica, I'm surprised. How come you decided to start your own club? You could probably be a board member for any of the major clubs. Weren't you a leader of the debate club last year? Well, you know. To be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. And if it encourages others to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. Is it adult literature? Is it reading torture? I don't know. I mean, they didn't really explain what kind of literature this was. This could be something that gets us into deep shit, who knows. Monica's really a great leader. Yuri also nods in agreement. Then I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we could all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, everyone? Yeah! We'll do our best. You know it. Everyone enthusiastically agrees. Is that really true? Does PewDiePie have his own book? I couldn't imagine him actually writing a book. Like, what would it be about? I'm assuming it's just a joke. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these three. Maybe that's why they were all so delighted by the idea of a new member joining. Though I still don't really know if I can keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature. He does? What is it about, just out of curiosity's sake? I need to know. He has 2 books? This is something I would have never expected. I mean, I guess it's about dumb shit. Well, I couldn't imagine it being about anything, like, too important. Anyway, besides that, let's continue with the game. So, Daddy Hand, what kind of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. I'm just gonna bring up, like, all the manga we've read or something like that. Manga. I muttered quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly pricks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Hey, it's still considered reading. She's not reading anything that's, you know, like a novel. Well, that can change. Especially with you ladies. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Oh, here we go. Let's see what happens. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. my favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. Oh, hey, thank you to Keyslinger 101 for subscribing. Thank you very much. I'm assuming you're in chat, and if you are, you just pop in and say hi. Or it could be someone that's just watching another random video. I've noticed that about YouTube, is occasionally people are just watching random videos subscribing, so they're not even like in the chat, which is kind of funny. I can't see the recommended stuff. No, I can't see the recommended stuff, so I have no idea what is popping up in the recommended section right now. Apparently something very disturbing. And it'd probably spoil the game, so it's a good thing I can't see it. Alright, so you like fantasy books. Makes sense. The levels of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading, and she spends an hour explaining how Game of Thrones is much worse than the books. A whole conversation we didn't ask for and didn't want. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But, you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. I read a horror book once. Once when I was like 6, now I'm 16 or whatever. Forget if they said what year we're in, but somewhere around there. I just really grasped something I can relate to at a minimal level. It's like a goosebump book. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. Really? I wouldn't have expected that, Yuri. For someone as gentle as you. I guess you could say that. But if a story makes me think, or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Ugh, I hate horror. Oh, why's that? Well, Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called... Don't say it out loud! And give it back! Fine. Your cupcakes, your poems, everything you do is just as cute as you are. Whoa. Sari sidles up behind Natsuki and puts her hand on her shoulders. Bad touch. This was not wanted and not asked for. I'm not cute! Natsuki, you write your own poems? Eh? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? This is a literature club, I'm assuming some of them have an interest in writing. That makes sense. No. Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Not a very confident writer yet. Like, every single one of her poems is actually about us. That's the twist behind this character. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just one confidence. And every single one of them is about how she actually wants to kill us. That's how far it actually goes. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities, and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. Guess it's the same for Yuri. Oh, I want to read everyone's poems. We all sit in silence for a moment. Okay, I have an idea, everyone. Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monica. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then, next time we meet, we'll all share it with each other. That way, everyone is even. Yeah, let's do it. Plus, now that we have a new member, I think it'll help us all get a little bit more comfortable with each other, and strengthen the bond of the club. Alright. Isn't that right, Daddy Hands? I'm glad you're all coming together for me. That's very, very touching. barely paying any attention to the game. Yeah, it's kind of... I don't want to be rude, but it's kind of like generic opening so far. Monica smiles warmly at me once again. Made so loyal into a full sense of security. There's gonna be a twist all of a sudden. I'm just waiting for it. Hold on, there's still one problem. What's that? The problem is you have to get a sex change before we can officially join the club. There's only women allowed. What's that? Now we're back to the original topic of me joining the club. I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club! Sayori may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and I lose my train of thought. All four girls stare back at me with stuttered over that, dejected eyes. There we go. But, I'm sorry, I thought, Daddy hand. You all, what are you doing? You're kneeling down for me? I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? That is, if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. Right. Okay, I've decided then. I will join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up. Yes, I'm so happy. Sayori wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. Hey, you really did scare me for a moment. If you really just came for the cupcakes, I would be super pissed. Then that makes it official. I'm just reading the chat for a second. Alright, Shadowcat, have a good night if you're going to bed. Hopefully I'll see you again at another stream at some point. So, what did someone say? It's about... Someone said 1 hour, and then someone said... I missed it. Apparently there's different time estimates for the game. I'm just curious how long this is too. Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remembers tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting, and we can all share it. Monica looks over at me once more. Daddy hands, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel anxiety welling up inside of me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up their food. Hey, Daddy Hand, since we're already here, do you want to walk home together? Oh boy, here we go. That's right, Sayuri and I never walk home together anymore, because she always stayed after school for the club. Sure, we might as well. Yay. Frog says the game's actually about 4 hours long, but the build-up takes a decent amount of time. With that, the two of us depart the club room and make our way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the four girls. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in the literature club? I figured it's probably more like 1 hour if you're just reading things quickly and playing by yourself. Like when you're not reading out loud. Alright, have a good night. Take care. Later, Ayumi. Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. I'm sure we will. I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. Before we got to write our own poem. Oh my god, we do. Pick words you think your favorite club member will like. Something good might happen with whoever likes your poem most. So what is it? Maybe I'll save here real quick. I'm not sure what's going to happen here. Insight? Is there 20 pages or is there just 20 words we're going to pick? I guess it's 20 words. So we know one girl's in the fantasy. I kind of already forgotten which one was which. The Chibi's move. Yeah, I wonder if there's some significance to that. I'm just going to pick words that I like. Let's see. Let's go with Hopeless for the Danganronpa theme. I'm going to start with this. Hopeless. A hopeless dance in a graveyard. Yes. Hopeless dance graveyard. Determination, yes. We'll do some kind of... We're kind of emo, we're kind of going along with memes from different games. Hopeless is the opposite of Nagito, determination for Undertale. Determination... Yeah, we're playing games. This poem's not gonna make a bit of sense. Sugar, you know, pour that sugar on me. Tenacious D, of course. I have no idea if there's actual strategy in this. I'm just picking everything at random. Well, the girls down there are bouncing around, so they're pretty bouncy. We'll throw them in as well. After image, misery. This is some pretty bland word. Fester, like a festering wound. That's pretty gross. Forgiveness for something. Something did someone wrong. Someone in some very, very slutty nightgown, sure. Destiny and Destiny 2, two games which are completely the same. Doki Doki, it's the name of this game. Of course, you have to include that as well. When they hop, it means they like it. Oh, okay, there we go. Good to know. The bone meat? I wish that was something. Let me make the child a little bit bigger because I miss sometimes when it scrolls down too much. There we go. Anime. Cheeks. Shame. So when I hover over it, they hop? No, not particularly. Anime. She likes that. Yeah, why are there only 3 girls? What about the other one? She's not included in this. Dante's Inferno. Emails. Oh no. Papa. Big Papa. We're daddy hands, so of course you have to pick Papa. Something got contaminated with something. It's pretty gross. A puppy massacre. I wish we could pick those two. To make something truly horrific. Puppy. Bubbles. They're very vibrant bubbles. And this whole thing has been very, very misfortunate. Did the ribbon girl bounce? I have no idea. Hi again, daddy hand. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Don't worry. Not yet. This might be a little strange for me, but at least I keep my word. Well, I'm back here at the Literature Club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Thanks for keeping your promise, daddy hand. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. I guess that's how our character thinks poems work, just string together 20 random words. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. Sayuri told me you didn't even want to join any clubs this year. And last year, too. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. But if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature. Well, I guess we should back her up on that one. I mean, that's kind of how our character feels, I guess. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki pops back into her seat. Don't worry, guys. Daddy Hand always gives it his best as long as he's having fun. He helps me with some busy work without me even asking. Like cooking, cleaning my room. How dependable. We have all the best mangoes here. Sayuri, that's because your room is so messy it's distracting. And you almost set your house on fire once. Is that so? You two are really good friends, aren't you? I might be a little jealous. How come? You and Daddy Hank can become good friends too. Sayuri? Way to make things awkward. As usual, Sayuri seems oblivious to the weird situation she just put me into. Oh, Yuri even brought you something today, you know? Wait, Sayori. Eh? Me? Not really. Don't be shy. It's really nothing. What is it? Never mind. Sayori made it sound like a big deal when it's really not. Oh, but it's a big deal for her, you can tell. Look at those eyes. What did I do? I'm sorry, Yuri, I wasn't thinking. I guess that means it's up to me to rescue the situation? Somehow? Yeah, we just met each other yesterday. Us and the purple-haired one, because I already forgot the name. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, we're becoming quick friends. I don't know what we look like, but we must look spectacular. That like all these ladies are seduced by us pretty much right away. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place. So any nice gesture from you is a pleasant surprise. It'll make me happy no matter what. Is that so? Yeah, I won't make it a big deal if you don't want it to be. So we only get to see the back of our head once. What a tease, what a tease. Alright, well here. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. Yes, our name is Daddy Hand. That is the official canon name of the character in the game, by the way. It's true. Totally wasn't picked out by anyone here. And we could, you know, discuss it if we wanted. You know, alone together. This is... Maddie, you say that as if you don't believe me. I'm so hurt. How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. If it's called Completely Normal Visual Novel, then it must be. You can't make that up. It's not physically possible to design a game that's not completely normal, and then name it Completely Normal. Phew. Well, you can read at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expect Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be the case. We're just having cupcakes and tea all over again. That's all we do every day. Sayori and Monica are having a cheery conversation in the corner. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I have to say, just a little side tangent, I never really joined any clubs in high school either. I did join like one club for like a very short while, but it was kind of like this where they literally did nothing all day. It's mostly people just hanging out and talking and not really doing anything that had anything to do with the subject at hand. So, it's kind of funny. I guess most clubs are probably like that. Unless you're like at a really serious school where they take that stuff seriously. Can't help but notice her intense expression. She was waiting for a chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. Yeah, same here. It was an English club, but really we didn't do anything that was related to anything of English. And somehow you had your message deleted, Demon-chan. I don't know what happened there. Unless you just took that back really quickly. In which case I kind of read that out loud, so now your cover's blown either way. I don't know if that was your intent or if you just accidentally deleted your own message. Anyway, let's continue along. I hear Natsuki utter an exasperated sigh from within the closet. She seems to be annoyed by something. I approach her in case she needs a hand. You looking for something in there? Freaking Monica! She never puts my stuff back in the right spot. What's the point in keeping your collection organized if someone's just gonna mess it up? Natsuki slides a bunch of stacked books and boxes across the shelf. Manga. You read manga too, right? Ah! Sometimes. Manga's one of those things where you can't admit you're really into it until you figure out where the other person stands. How did you know anyway? I heard you bringing it up at some point. Besides, it's kind of written on your face, nerd. What's that supposed to mean? I see. There's a lone volume of manga amidst a stack of various books on the side of one shelf. Curious, I pull it out of the stack. There it is! Natsuki snatches it out of my hand. She then turns to a box of manga and slips the volume right into the middle of the rest. Ah, much better. Is it really a hentai collection? It must be. This is all so suspicious. Seeing a box set with one book missing is probably the most irritating sight in the world. I know that feel. I get a closer look at the box set she's admiring. I don't know how to pronounce this word, to be perfectly honest. I know I've seen the word before. But whatever. Parfait girls, even though it's probably pronounced wrong. It's a series I've never heard of in my life. That probably means it's either way out of my demographic or it's simply terrible. Probably terrible. Parfait? Yeah. It's one of those words that I've always seen in writing, but I've never figured out how to pronounce. Except for Frog explaining it, so thank you for that. If you're gonna judge, you can go and do it through the glass in that door. Wow. She points to the classroom door. Very polite. Oh, is the stream dead again? People are having Buffy issues. Oh, I do see some dropped frames. 279 dropped frames, but it's actually not much compared to the stream overall. So I'll give it a second. Are you guys still having issues? Or is it just like a temporary thing? I'm assuming it's just temporary. Or is it not temporary? Uh-oh. Constant Buffy. Oh no. Oh wait, now it's coming back just as I go to address the people in the chat. Okay. Yeah, it's weird. OBS is showing the green signal, just in lower quality. Huh. Bizarre. It did have 279 dropped frames, but that actually isn't a whole lot. So it's kind of weird. Yeah, I guess refreshing helps. Might have been just a temporary YouTube thing. Either way, looks like everyone's back now. Let's continue along. Hey, I wasn't judging anything. I didn't even say anything. It was the tone of your voice. But I'll tell you one thing, Daddy Hand. Consider this a lesson straight from the Literature Club. Don't judge a book by its cover. I thought the first rule is don't talk about Literature Club, but okay. In fact, Natsuki pulls out the first volume of Parfait Girls from the box. I'm glad you guys taught me how to say that, and I don't have to feel like a fool. I'm gonna show you exactly why. She shoves the book right into my hands. Ah. Stare at the cover. It features 4 girls in a colorful attire striking animated feminine poses. It's extremely moe. Yeah, what's said in Literature Club stays in Literature Club. Always. Oh, and hello to you, Joseph. Nice seeing you here. If you were here before earlier, I didn't notice you. Don't just stand there. Ooh-ah! Natsuki grabs my arm and pulls me out of the closet. She then takes a seat against the wall beneath the windowsills. She pats on the ground next to her, signaling for me to sit there. Except we don't sit there at all, we're staying in the middle of the room. Wouldn't chairs be more comfortable? I take my seat. Chairs wouldn't work. What the hell are we about to do where we don't need chairs? We can't read at the same time like that. Oh. Alright, fair enough. Yeah? Why's that? I guess it's easier to be close together like this. Don't just say that. You'll make me feel weird about it. Natsuki crosses her arms and scooches an inch away from me. We made an emo poem. Yeah, we did create one just a little bit before this, Joseph. You missed out on that. It was classy stuff. I already forgotten what it was. Sorry. I didn't exactly expect to be sitting that close to her either. Not that I can say it's a particularly bad thing. I open the book. We're gonna summon a demon Shan? Of course. I figured it would have something to do with the occult. If there's gonna be some twist to this, why not? It's only a few seconds before Natsuki once again inches closer, reclaiming the additional space while she hopes I won't notice. Either that or ancient aliens. That's always another good one. I can feel her peering over my shoulder, much more eager to begin reading than I am. Wow, how long has it been since I read the beginning? You don't go back and flip through the older volumes every now and then. Not really. Maybe sometimes after I've finished a set. Hey, are you paying attention? I am, but nothing's really happened yet, so I can talk at the same time. Looks like it's a bunch of friends in high school. Seems somewhat familiar. Typical slice of life affair. I kinda grew out of these since it's rare for the writing to be entertaining enough to make up for the lack of plot. So, what should I expect from this? Is there gonna be plot? Well, obviously. You think I would enjoy something that didn't have a plot? I mean, well, I guess I know what you're saying. A lot of the beginnings is about simple things. Like, there's a really funny chapter where they're obsessed with a guy at the ice cream shop. But that just helps you get to know the characters. And besides, it's still entertaining. But later on, there's all kinds of drama. Like when they get into all their backstories, and then some of the romance starts to happen. That's really what makes it so good. Yeah, like this is some pretty transparent fourth wall breaking right here. That's really what makes it so good. There's so many touching parts. Ah, is that so? It sounds like you really know what you're talking about. Maybe I underestimated you. That is something that you should definitely say to a girl when you first meet her. Talk about how you underestimated them the first thing you did when you saw them. Hey, wait. What's that supposed to mean? Ugh. Natsuki gives me a little shove. I just meant that I haven't yet seen you at your full power. Good save. Wow. Smooth recovery. Ah, this chapter seems like it's about baking. This is just a guess, but is there a lot of baking in this manga? Well... Natsuki pauses for a moment, as if she doesn't want to admit something. Yeah. Why does that matter? It doesn't, I was just curious. Since you enjoy baking too, right? Oh no, we found out another one of her secrets. Look, she's horrified. Sweating, getting a little anxious, that's just a coincidence. I just happened to get into baking around the same time I got this manga. Totally exposed. This is going on my YouTube channel. I'm gonna do an exposed video on Natsuki, how she likes baking. So controversial. Like, would ever get into anything because it's a manga. I feel bad for anyone that's impressionable. Definitely not a coincidence. I mean, there's no other reason why someone would get into baking other than they read a manga. Come on. I guess that explains Natsuki's interest in I almost said banking. In baking. Well, it's a good thing she didn't read any books or manga about banking. Still, of all the hobbies to pick up from a manga, that's definitely one of the better ones. Not to mention she's really good at it, so who am I to judge? Oh, here we go, super cute image. Here, can we do the thing? Yeah, there we go. I could use that as a thumbnail if I want in the future. We read on for a few more minutes. I've finished a couple of chapters at this point. Are you sure this isn't boring for you? It's not. Even though you're just watching me read. Well, I'm fine with that. Yeah, she looks very young. And also I've been meaning to say this for a while, but it also looks like she kind of has like the Gmail logo in her hair. For like that little bit of string or braid or whatever the fuck you call that shit. I am not a girl, so I don't know what you call a band, I guess. If you say so. I guess this one's sharing something like... something you like with someone else. There we go. I always get excited when I convince any of my friends to pick up a series I enjoy. Is it working for other people? Did it crash again? No, it's still working for others? Okay. You know what I mean? I don't know what I mean. I already forgot what I just said. You don't? That's not... Well, I wouldn't really know. What do you mean? Don't you share your manga with your friends? Could you not rub it in? Jeez. Ah, sorry. Like I could ever get my friends to read this. They just think manga's for kids. I can't even bring it up without them being all like, you still haven't grown out of that yet? Makes me want to punch them in the face. I know those kinds of people. Honestly, it takes a lot of effort to find friends who don't judge, much less friends who are also into it. I'm already kind of a loser, so I guess I gravitated towards the other losers over time. But it's probably harder for someone like you. Alright, Demon-chan, have a good night if you're going off soon. Have your friends not heard of Death Note? Well, I mean, if the first thing they saw of Death Note was the Netflix series, then I wouldn't blame them for not wanting to see any more of it. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Wait, which part? I mean, I feel like I can't even keep it in my own room. I don't even know what my dad would do if he found this. Truly the most heinous of crimes, keeping manga in your room. At least it's safe here in the club room. Except if the teacher finds it. Except Monica was kind of a jerk about it. I just can't win, can I? Well, it paid off in the end, didn't it? I mean, here I am, reading it. Well, it's not like that solves any of my problems. Maybe. But at least you're enjoying yourself, right? Yeah, I shouldn't talk about Death Note on Netflix. I don't want you guys to all vomit and be sick. I'd be responsible for that, and I'd feel bad. Oh, just getting even more worried. So... Jeez, that's enough. Are you gonna keep reading or what? Yeah. I flipped the page. How bad was it? It was pretty bad. Pretty bad. You don't want to even watch it to see how bad it is. It's not even like bad in an amusing way, it's just bad. That's just all I could really describe it as. Yeah, it was awful, not just as an adaptation, but as a movie. Yeah, it was just terrible. Terrible all around. Alright, Death Note. Netflix series on the actual Death Note. Yeah, that'd probably be for the best. Indeed. I flipped the page. Suddenly Natsuki starts laughing. I totally forgot that happens. Natsuki puts her finger on one of the panels. Minori is my favorite character. You always feel a little bit bad for her, since she's so unlucky. But it gets especially bad when... Oh god. I noticed that too, Frog, at the end of the movie when they had the credits. Yeah, they had him on the actual Death Note. Or it was stylized to look like it was on the Death Note, you know? So it's kind of funny, it's like they wanted to kill everyone that made the movie. Wow, the director of the movie deleted the Twitter because of all the death threats they got for that? That is pretty sad. We're gonna kill all the actors and everyone that ever worked on this project. Can never see a sequel, no matter what. I shouldn't be talking about that yet. Just finish this chapter. Natsuki's voice sparkles with excitement. It's a stark contrast to her usual bossy tone. But if she's not used to sharing her favorite manga with her friends, I can understand why. It's hard to express in words the feeling you get when connecting with someone like that. And being able to provide that to Natsuki, for whom it's a rare experience, the thought makes me smile a little bit to myself. You know, that was just okay. It would have been better if they changed some other names and didn't try to make it Ellen Lights. I mean, I feel it's being awfully generous to it, saying it was okay after all that's... I kind of agree with Frog, where even if it was just like a standalone movie and you had no expectations for it, I feel like it still wouldn't really work. Just because it didn't make any sense. But that's like a whole long conversation, so I'm not going to go off on that. Okay, everyone. Eh? Are y'all ready with today's poems? Oh, come on. Could your timing be any worse? Sorry. I just need to make sure we have enough time. Though you do look pretty cozy over there. Natsuki suddenly notices how close she's got. Yeah, we still haven't read the poems yet. I'm still curious to see how that works out. She actually slides over a good 12 inches away from me. Alright, guess I'll stop here for now. I close the book and hand it towards Natsuki. You're just giving it back? Don't you want to know what happens? Yeah, but... Monica just said, don't be dumb, just take it home with you. Is that really alright? I say that mostly because I really didn't plan on using my spare time to read this. Well, of course. It would take forever to finish it if you didn't take it home. It's almost remaking Back to the Future with the main leads being black. I'd be mad. I mean... I hate talking about it because people will just be like, oh, it's racist if you bring that up. But I think it's stupid if you just remake a movie and just be like, oh, well, we're just going to make it now with all people that are black or other minorities, or if we're going to remake it with women or that kind of thing, like they do with the Ghostbusters. It's not really like the point of it, but I kind of see that it's a distraction. Because what they do is they're like, oh, well, we're going to try to make this movie to appeal to a certain demographic, so we're going to cast them all as women or all as black or other minorities, and it appeals to other people. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. You actually have to write a story that's good and appeals to people. Like, you can't just blindly cast characters as, like, women or blacks and be like, oh yeah, now all the women are going to see it, all the blacks are going to see it. That is so stupid. It's just, like, completely unthinking movie making. And I can't think of anything that applies to that more than the Ghostbusters movie, because they just made such an awful movie. And it just seemed like they were trying to solely make that just because they were promoting it as a movie for women, I guess, but I didn't actually know many people who liked it at all, no matter if they were men or women, so I don't know. But aside from that, I don't think you should ever make Back to the Future again in general, because that is such a... It's a movie that's so appropriate to the time period. You know what I mean? It just wouldn't work in today's environment, Back to the Future. It just had so much charm. It's a good thing you're a smaller YouTuber to be taken out of context. I mean, to be fair, people take things out of context all the time, no matter what your size is. But whatever. I don't really care too much. I know that L was black in the movie, but L could be anyway. Yeah, I mean, the thing was, it didn't really matter what L was. Kind of like the same thing with, like they made light, whatever, whites. Like, who cares? That wasn't like the major malfunction with the movie. The malfunction was the terrible story. They could have made him like any race or color or gender or whatever, and it wouldn't really matter. You actually have to write a good story. That's what's paramount. And just trying to change the race of a character to appeal to a demographic, like, oh, we're gonna make Light white so he appeals more to the Americans, and we'll also change L to being black because that'll appeal to other Americans. It's just so stupid. Yeah, story is everything. That's what actually matters. Timmy Turner is better than Light Turner. That's actually pretty funny. I didn't even make that connection. It's a stupid Turner last name. The original Death Note was rooted in Japanese culture. Yeah, and that was another thing about it, because the whole thing with the Shinigami, that was entrenched in more of a Japanese culture. I mean, it would work if you made it for an American country. It's just that they mangled the story so terribly. I don't know. This has gone long enough with this tangent. I want to see what this poem is if we ever get to it. Just finish that one before tomorrow so we can start the next one. And yeah, Light's character was just... gotta stop thinking about that. If it gets bent, it'll kill you. By tomorrow. I only got partway through the volume so far. I might fall behind on some shows if I try to get through this. Well, the thing though, I know I'm getting off topic once again, is if you made it in the US, I don't really know how much you could adapt. Because, like, what would you do? You'd make Ryuk the Grim Reaper instead? That would just look silly. Like, I think you could have the show, or the TV series or movie or whatever you call the Netflix thing. I think you could have that set in the US and mostly carry over most of the stuff from the original series. To be fair, most of the... I mean, pretty much the whole franchise is more popular for the original adaptation to begin with, so I don't see why the US audience wouldn't enjoy a more faithful reproduction. I don't know. That's just my opinion anyway. Changing last names makes Light a totally normal American name. Yeah, it was totally normal, of course. I really gotta stop getting distracted by Death Note. Yeah, it's a totally necessary sacrifice in exchange for blah blah blah, her face. Or am I more scared of what will happen if I don't finish it? Alright then. I stand up. I return to where I put my stuff and carefully slip the book into my bag. By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night? Oh, here we go, finally. Yeah. My relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. I couldn't really find much inspiration since I'd never really done this before. Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't we find someone to share with? I can't wait! Sayori and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayori's in on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf paper, torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook, very, very fancy. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I do the same. It's weird that we're only showing off to one person, but I guess that makes sense. Let's save. If we're not over-saving, we're not doing this proper. I don't know, I don't have much of a preference, so I'll let you guys decide. Let's have a vote. Do a good old-fashioned democratic vote. So, if you guys want to go with anyone in particular, just type their name in the chat, and I'll try to count them up as best as I can. Which I'm not guaranteeing to be particularly accurate if people do multiple votes. Alright, 2 for Yuri, so I'm already seeing a quick favorite. Yeah, either way, it was awful, regardless. The Death Note Netflix series, that is. I will say I was pleasantly surprised about one thing, though. At first, I thought the Death Note thing was going to be a mini-series, so there's going to be multiple parts, but I was glad it was just the one movie. That was a relief. Vote for Buffy? Oh no, is there really more Buffy going on right now? I'm not sure I see any. Guess we're going with Yuri, and Joseph says Yaoi, of course. Sadly, there's no Yaoi character. It's pretty funny that they have a character named Yuri, though. So yeah, we have Princess of Balance saying Yuri, Demon-chan saying Yuri, and I guess the rest of you are neutral. Just like any other election, half the people don't vote anyway. Alright, I'm gonna go with Yuri then. No, we want Yuri on Ice. Oh, that's what you're asking for, of course. I don't actually know. I'm trying to remember, which one is Yuri the one that we were... The one with the blue hair? The long blue hair? I think so, right? Yuri seems the most experienced, so I should start with her. I can trust her opinion to be fair. Yeah, that one. Yuri stares at the poem. A minute passes, more than enough for her to finish reading. Oh, sorry. I forgot to start speaking. It's fine. Don't force yourself. I just need to put my thoughts into words. Hold on, still processing. Okay. This is your first time running a poem, right? Was it that obvious? I mean, I'm not saying it's saying the poem's an awful piece of crap that should have never been written in the first place, but it sounds pretty close to that. Yeah. Why do you ask? I'm just making sure. I guess that it might be after reading it through it. Ah, so it's that bad. No! Did I just raise my voice? I'm so sorry. Yuri buries her face in her hands. I couldn't help but notice that it's been several minutes and we really haven't gotten anywhere. It might take Yuri a while to get used to new people. Yes, Joseph, you just noticed the daddy hands? Yeah, that's her character's name in this game. I'm not even gonna repeat the joke because I said it too many times already. It's fine, I really didn't notice. What were we saying? It's funny, like everyone that joins in the chat after like a couple of minutes, that time it took a while because we got distracted talking about Death Note, but just After a few minutes, they're like, wait, daddy hand? What? Right. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. As in, you just don't usually write 20 words randomly on a piece of paper and call it poetry. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable things I recognize as new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter and they fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the experience are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Hey, Tyrell, what's up? You're pretty late. I don't know exactly how long I've been streaming for because we had the stream crash at one point, but it's probably been about an hour and a half, if we account for that whole mishap. Wow, it's already midnight. For me, anyway. It's pretty late. But it's good to see you, anyway. I'll try to continue for a little bit, since we still have a lot of progress to make in this game, I think. Her ceremony is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There's so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in this club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little biased, though. We have definitely noticed that. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Yeah, but you can't do that where you just start talking about someone and then not explain. That means I'm gonna assume the worst about them. Sorry, it's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri's apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily as if that's a rare opportunity for her. Which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Well, that is the question, is it? What do we have here? Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have Wait, what's that say? Withstood. Damn it. I misread it. Now I screwed up the whole personality and atmosphere of this. Oh well. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe. What does that say? Calm? I think it's calm in a comma. Or semicolon. Yeah, that's what it is. God damn it, I hate fancy writing. I bathe. Calm. Breathing air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. This was too hard to read. This is when your handwriting gets too fancy. Oh. Click outside poem area to continue. Okay. There we go. I'm sorry. I have such terrible handwriting. You should be ashamed of yourself. How dare you? What? I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Did you? Did the game try to account for how long I was actually taking to read? Huh. I'm not sure if it actually did or not. That is kind of clever if they did that. Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. Eh? That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. If it does what if we just sat there for hours, that is definitely something to try. Oh man, if I make a game, or if I was to make a game, I would definitely do something like that where if you just pause the game for long enough, something would happen. You know? Someone's just God damn it, respond already. How dare you wait? If you take a long time to make a decision. I think that would be pretty funny. You're supposed to read a poem 3 times. Yeah, that is what they say in school. I remember that. I think they say use it at least 3 times. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I want to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Daddy Hand. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Or point, even. I don't know why I said that so freaking weird. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. That's true. Wait, you said it took me a long time, then you said I only glanced over it. Make up your mind, Yuri. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their works. They usually do more than tell a simple story, or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost. Lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past. And soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. It's nothing, really. Well, it makes me happy that you think that. Just remember that it won't be long before you pick up on these things too. Yeah, maybe you're right. I guess I'll have to keep trying. I'm counting on you. Oh, there we go. We continue reading the other students too. Makes sense. So we can just go through this in order, I guess. Doesn't matter. What's up, Sayori? This is a good poem, Daddy Hand. Are you sure it's your first time? Well, she is much more polite to us. Of course. It's not that good. Or do we only have a limited amount of students? Maybe I was wrong about that. Because then Demon said Monica. Well, you guys can let me know if that's true or not. Am I the kind of guy who would be writing poems in his spare time? I guess you're right. But that's why it impressed me. Well, to be honest, I was afraid that you wouldn't do it seriously. Or that you wouldn't write one at all. I'm really happy that you just wrote one. That you wrote one. It just reminds me that how you're really a part of the club now. Do not worry, thank you, Frog. I won't worry at all. Not to mention the fact that I'm staying in front of you in the club room. Well, I'm not really into it yet, but that doesn't mean I'll break my promise. See? It's like I said before, Daddy Hand. Deep down, you're not selfish at all, you know? Trying new things like this for other people? That's something that only really good people do. Thanks, Sayori. I'm not sure if Sayori sees the full picture of my motive here. Then again, I can't deny that she's part of the reason I joined. Knowing how much this means to her and all. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure you have lots of fun here, okay? That'll be my way of thanking you. Alright, I'm gonna hold you to that then. Yay, now you'll read my poem too, right? Don't worry, I'm really bad at it. We'll see about that. Alright, we'll do Monica next then, since Demon-chan's staying up late. And so is Shadowcat. Dear sunshine, the way you glow through my blinds in the morning, it makes me feel like you miss me. Kissing my forehead to help me out of bed. Making me rub the sleepy from my eyes. That's pretty funny. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you trusting me to wish away a rainy day? I look above, the sky is blue. It's a secret, but I trust you too. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever. But I'm not mad. I want breakfast. Damn straight I want breakfast. Sayori, this is just a guess, but did you wait until this morning to write this? No, just a bit. You can't answer just a little bit to a yes or no question. I forgot to do it last night. Well, at least that makes me feel a little better about myself. Don't be mean. I still tried my best. Ah, yeah. I didn't mean to say that it was a bad poem. It came out nice, or how should I put it? It sounds just like you. Really? Yeah. Especially that last line. I made eggs and toast. Even though you were late to school. It's bad to skip breakfast. I get all cranky. Well, I guess there's no point in arguing. Anyway, thanks for showing me. This was so much fun. Monica's the best. Yeah. But next time I won't forget. And I'm gonna write the best poem ever. Well, I guess I look forward to it. How can Daddy Hen complain he literally wrote random 20 words? Well, we put some thought into maybe 5 of them, to be fair. Alright, I said I was gonna do Monica next and I'll keep my word. Hi, Daddy Hand. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we could do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until we're settled in. Anyway, want to share a poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. I don't like how she's waggling her finger at Try. Yeah, that's very rude of her. How dare she? Now she's trying to pose like this in front of me. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. I like it, Daddy Hand. Really? It's a lot cuter than I expected. Oh, jeez. No. It kinda makes me think of something Natsuki would write. And she's a good writer too. So, take that as a compliment. Monica acts really flashy and tries to stand out. Having that pose. Yeah, I guess so. I'm not sure what else that pose is trying to convey. Damn it, that would be perfect if it was only Daddy like this. I like it, Daddy. Yep. By any chance, have you read anything by Shel Silverstein? Yeah? Maybe a long time ago. He's famous for telling all kinds of stories in just a few simple words. His poems can be funny, endearing, or even sad. And sometimes they're only a few lines long. They might even feel like they're written for kids, but if you think about them, they can express views of the world that would apply to anybody. I see. So you're saying that Natsuki is kind of like that? Sort of. Maybe she's not an expert, but you probably won't find much filler in her poems. They might be easy to write, but they're super challenging to get the meaning through. So I can see why it'd be your kind of poem to explore. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. That's okay. I'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little bit biased towards their kinds of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Awkward. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Well, of course. Don't worry, I'm not very good. They all say that. They all seem generically nice to me. This is supposed to be normal, right? I guess so? I'm not really sure. There's something more than meets the eye going on here, but I guess we'll find out a bit later in the game. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. Oh, we have a longer one now. Let's see. Hole in wall. It couldn't have been me. See the direction the sparkle protrudes. A noisy neighbor. An angry boyfriend. I'll never know, I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel, blind. Like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retinas. Already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep. Stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out. And he on the other side was looking in. Well, that's mysterious. Yeah, I definitely read this one through twice, once to myself, just to see if I could get any more meaning from that one. Definitely seems relatively interesting, especially this last part here. Yeah. Yeah, her poem actually has a title. Do the other ones not have a title? Oh, I forgot about the other ones. Yeah, it's all a story about a glory hole demon. I'm sure that's exactly what she meant when she wrote this. So, what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. That's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of an epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Wait Frog, I'm making eye contact with you. Because I think I put together what the ending of this game is going to be from what you said, how we only have like one shot of our character and we see the back of his head. I think I'm kind of knowing where this is going. Anyway, let's continue this along before I give too much away. Yeah, something like that. Oh, yeah, have a good night, Demon Shan. Yeah, it's definitely late for you, so you rest now, okay? Take care. Nice to see you again. I'm probably not on the right track. Oh, okay, fair enough then. I had like a mental image of what I was expecting the end of the game to be. I think you're probably thinking the same thing I'm thinking. Maybe. But yeah, I guess we'll find out. Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway. Here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. How many people actually have that though? Like those old-fashioned pens. What do you call them? I've seen ink pen, but there's a fountain pen? Yeah, fountain pen or whatever. So just moving your hand and go with the flow. Yeah, I figured it's fun to theorize every now and then. You don't see the player's face because it's supposed to be you. Legit not trying to trick you, it's just how the game is. I figured it was that. I figured they'd try to have like a kind of like a shot of someone at the computer and it was supposed to be you at the end. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Oh! What can we choose now, I wonder? This makes things very easy. Yeah, we're used to Danganronpa, so we automatically go for the craziest explanation, of course. I will say, we haven't played too much of Danganronpa V3, but I've already started to formulate some theories. And, really, it's too early to say what they are, because I don't know. I feel like there's been a couple of people kind of, said some slightly spoiler things already, so I'm not gonna say the spoilers, Shadowcat, don't mind me. Like I said, I'm not gonna talk about them probably until we're closer to the end of the game, and right now we're still in the very beginning. But yeah, I formulated some theories based on what we've seen so far. Don't know if it'll be true or not, but definitely an interesting game so far. Monica's is the most significant poem of now. I figured it was. That seemed to stand out more than the other ones so far. Excuse me. Alright, let's read Natsuki's poem, and I'll probably end things after that, because it is getting relatively late. Or are we just gonna question each other? Okay, well let's start with the things I don't like. First of all, Natsuki rereads my poem. Never mind. I don't feel like giving you my opinion. Huh? What's the point of sharing in the first place? I wrote this when I could have been doing other things. Ugh. In fact, I remember how I said I want to read your poems. That's what I had in mind when writing this. I want to help you feel comfortable enough to share yours. Yeah, even just speculating about things too much, I usually don't like to do in the videos. That's why when we were doing the speculation for the first Danganronpa, towards the end of the game, we made that a separate video. And that's the one where we were able to guess about, you know, who being the mastermind of that game. Danganronpa 2, we did kind of guess from the very first episode, at least one of the twists, but I felt that was fairly obvious. And actually, I felt it was so obvious, I wasn't sure if it was going to be kind of like a red herring, honestly. But it did end up coming true in the end. I want to help you feel comfortable enough to share yours. Like Monica said, ugh. Well, I'd be more comfortable sharing my poem if yours was really bad. You're supposed to show me some dumb poem and make me go, ha, well it's not that great, but let me show you what real literature looks like. And you went and ruined it. I hope you're happy. So in other words, you're saying you liked it. Ugh. Natsuki's retort gets caught in her throat. Ugh, you just don't understand anything, do you? I already told you that you don't have to go announcing it to the world like you're all self-important. Pretty sure you never actually said that. I say that mostly to myself. Natsuki must really hate me or something. I wouldn't call us the ultimate Danganronpa plot guessers. We've done some pretty good guesses, but I feel like we've mostly had solid reasoning behind it by the time we made those guesses. There have been like a few trials where we didn't piece everything together beforehand. There was a couple of trials, I feel like it's mostly like before a trial we kind of have an idea of who did it, but we don't know why. That happens a lot. Natsuki must really hate me or something. If you plan on taking a break, the best spot coming up would be right when the second poem writing screen shows up. Oh, okay, I was gonna stop right after we read her poem, which I assume is right around that time. I can't figure out if it's a win or a loss that she liked my poem. In any case, you still need to show me yours, right? Yeah, fine, I guess. Only because Monica will make me if I don't. That's awesome. It's very short. Eagles can fly. Monkeys can climb. Crickets can leap. Horses can race. Owls can seek. Cheetahs can run. Eagles can fly. People can try. But that's about it. Well, I could certainly read this one again to myself real quick. That's a short enough poem. I managed to figure out the first trial event if I wasn't confident in my answer before the trial, but I was curious to see how you two did. You mean the first trial of the first game? Or the second game? The first trial of the first game was really simple. Supposedly it was a problem for people who actually played the original game in Japan, because that wasn't so simple to guess for them, for obvious reasons. The second one, yeah. The second one was really cool. I really liked the first trial of the second game. That's actually like one of my favorite trials in probably the whole series, because that one was really, really well done. It had everything from like the twist with someone interfering with the trial to like it was Nagito, right? Yeah, it was definitely Nagito. Of course, who else could it have been? Who messed around and he first got, I forgot the guy's name, but the chef. He got the chef to try to kill Byakuya by mistake, and that was just crazy. Yeah, I told you that you weren't gonna like it. I like it. It's simple. It's nice. What? Just be honest. I am. Hey, Icy, what's up? Yes, Teru, that is their name. You came in just the right time to tell me who the character was. Good old Teru. Yes, you're right. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff, so people don't even take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it all fall flat on the purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, I guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Phew. Guess that's everyone. Glance around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone's judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. They actually didn't say anything mean to our face, though. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is the literature club after all, and we did just write down 20 words randomly. I sigh. Guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Sayori and Monica are happily chatting. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchanged sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. Yeah, she's the youngest one, but she still looks prepubescent. At least she looks older than, what's her name? Hiyoko. Right, it was Hiyoko? I think so. The blonde-haired girl in Danganronpa 2, I mean. The very short one. It looked like she was 6 or whatever. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Eh? Did you say something? No, it's nothing. Yeah, squish squish. Good old squish squish. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Ah, thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just mean... the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. Eh? You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Sayori liked it. And Daddy Han did too. That's right, Daddy Han likes everything. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestion of my own. First of all, excuse me. I appreciate the offer, but I spent a long time establishing my writing style. Wow, I just have to comment on that, Maddie, real quick. A certain Yakuza is supposed to be in place of a certain person who likes to say squish squish. I am so glad they made that change then. Oh my goodness. If they had kept that person alive instead, that would have been... oh, I don't know how I would have liked that. By the time Hiyoko went away, I was quite fine with that, to be honest. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring. Which I haven't yet. And Daddy Han likes my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh? I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. Eh? That's not what You just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Daddy Han appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. Huh? And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Is everything okay? Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Daddy Han started showing up. Natsuki. Natsuki? That's a little... This doesn't involve you! I don't like fighting, guys. Suddenly, both girls turned towards me, as if they just noticed I was standing there. Daddy Han! She's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. If she could get over herself and learn to appreciate that simple writing is more effective, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. What's the point in making your poems all convoluted for no reason? The meaning should jump out at the reader, not force them to have it to figure it out. Help me explain that to her, Daddy Han. Wait. There's a reason we have so many deep and expressive words in our language. It's the only way to convey complex feelings, and meaning the most effective. Avoiding them is not only unnecessarily limiting yourself, it's also a waste. You understand that, right, Daddy Han? Well? How did I get dragged into this in the first place? It's not like I know anything about writing. But whoever I agree with, they'll probably think more highly of me. What a choice here. Good God. Well, this is not a save point. I don't know what is. So we'll definitely do that. Simple words can be a simple tool. I guess so. I think, let's see. I know people want us to go for Yuri in the beginning, but I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a true point. Both styles are effective when used properly. That's what I would say, but maybe that's help me Sayori. Maybe that would be the right option. It seems like we're weak if we're crying out for Sayori, but I feel like maybe this will be the middle ground option, which I kind of hope leads to something like Shadowcat says, where we basically say, hey, both options have their own strengths. Yeah, let's go with Sayori. Hopefully that doesn't get us in trouble. Natsuki glares at me, drawing up any words I had in my mouth. So instead I turn to Yuri. Yuri? But Yuri's expression is so defenseless that I can't bring myself to say anything to her. Sayori! Eh? Yeah! Everyone's fighting is making Sayori uncomfortable. How can the two of you keep fighting when you know you're making your friend feel like this? Daddy hand. Well, that's her problem. This isn't about her. I agree. It's unfair for others to interject their own feelings into our conflict. Then why are you trying to get me involved? Yeah, unless Sayori wants to tell Yuri what a stuck-up jerk she's being. She would never. It's your immaturity that's made her upset in the first place. Excuse me? Yeah, that is one hell of an excuse. Oh, yeah, you're making Sayori nervous. Obviously you're making us nervous, and that's why we shouted that. That's pretty funny, though. Are you listening to yourself? This is exactly why. Exactly why nobody likes... Stop! Natsuki, Yuri, you guys are my friends. I just want everyone to get along and be happy. My friends are wonderful people. Except when they're acting like jerks, and I love them because of their differences. Natsuki's poems. They're amazing because they give you so many feelings with just a few words. And Yuri's poems are amazing because they paint beautiful pictures in your head. Everyone's so talented. So why are we fighting? Because, well, also, Natsuki's cute, and there's nothing wrong with that. And Yuri's boobs are the same as they've always been. Big and beautiful. Wow, Sayori. Sayori stands triumphantly, making a good point there. Monika stands behind her with a bewildered expression. I'll make some tea. Oh man, that was so funny. They're the same as they've always been. Yuri rushes off. Natsuki sits down with a blank expression on her face, staring at nothing. So this is why Sayori is vice president, I whispered to Monika. She nods in return. To be honest, I might come off as a good leader and I can organize things, but I'm not very good with people. I couldn't even bring myself to interject. As president, that's kind of embarrassing of me. Nah, it's not like I can blame you. I wasn't able to say anything either. Well, I guess that just means Sayori is amazing in her own ways, isn't she? You could say that. She might be an airhead, but sometimes it's weirdly suspicious that she knows exactly what she's doing. I see. Take good care of her, okay? I would hate to see her get herself hurt. It's a weird thing to say. That makes two of us. You can count on me. Monika smiles sweetly at me, causing my stomach to knot. Such a genuine person really does make a good president, regardless of what she says. If only I could get the chance to talk to her a little bit more. Yeah, she's always wagging that finger around. Makes me very suspicious of her. She's very genuine, but she's always wagging her finger at us. Okay, everyone. It's just about time for us to leave. How do you all feel about sharing poems? It was a lot of fun, except for the part where we almost killed each other. Well, I'd say it was worth it. It was alright. Well, mostly. Of course, you're the one that started it. Daddy Hand, how about you? Yeah, I'd say the same. It was such a neat thing to talk about with everyone. Awesome. In that case, we'll do the same thing tomorrow. And maybe you learned something from your friends too. So your poems will turn out even better. I think to myself, I did learn a little bit more about the kinds of poems everyone likes. With any luck, that means I can at least do a better job impressing those I want to impress. I nod to myself, newfound determination. Of course, determination. Daddy hand. Ready to walk home? Sure, let's go. Sayori beams at me. It's truly been a while since Sayori and I have been spending so much time together like this. I can't really say I'm not enjoying it either. Sayori. About what happened earlier. Yeah, what do you mean? You know, between Yuri and Natsuki. Does that kind of thing happen often? No. That's really the first time I've ever seen them fight like that. That seems hard to believe. Seems like those two were constantly going at it, just from the way they were fighting this time. I promise they're both wonderful people. You don't hate them, do you? No, of course I don't hate them. I just wanted your opinion, that's all. I can see why they'd make good friends with you. Phew, you know, Daddy Hand, it's nice I get to spend so much time with you in the club. But I think seeing you get along with everyone is what makes me the happiest. And I think everyone really likes you too. That's... Every day is gonna be so much fun! Looks like Sayori still hasn't caught on to this kind of situation I'm in. Sure, being friends with everyone is nice, but... does it really need to stop there? We'll just have to see what the future holds, Sayori. Pat Sayori on the shoulder. I said that more to myself than to her, but it's easy to use Sayori as an internal monologue sometimes. That's nice. Okay, yeah, let's do this. Yeah, I'm gonna end things now, before we write this second poem here.